Are you in your 50s or maybe even 60s looking at about 5 years to your planned retirement date? If so, this video is for you. Perhaps you performed some high-level rough calculations and you have arrived at your 5 years. You're just kind of doing them in your head, maybe on a notebook piece of paper, but really haven't done anything intense and comprehensive, maybe even an Excel spreadsheet. What have I learned in my journey to pass on to you, making that jump into retirement? Well, I've got, I think it is 11 steps here. Let me double check. Yeah, 11 steps I've identified, and I'll put them in the show notes, so look for those. My name is Joe. I'm 60 years old. I retired 6 years ago, and I am sharing my story to help you make maybe better decisions, not by following a prescription from me, but just hearing my journey, what I did well, what I didn't do well, what I would do over again. And, I'm just somebody that's on the other side of this hill, and maybe there's a nugget or two in here. Before I go on, if this is your second video of mine that you're watching, there is a toll. The toll is you hit like, you hit subscribe. And I'd love it if you left a comment at a minimum and just tell me where you're from. Just leave the city where you're from if you don't want to get into a big conversation. I read all the comments, but that's getting harder and harder, but I do read them all still. So let's jump in. Number one thing that I would pass on to somebody within 5 years of retirement. Number one, you got to realize it's never too early to start planning. Why? You may need, or probably will, almost guaranteed, need to make changes to asset allocation. So are you 100% stocks right now and 0% fixed? And what do you need to go to and why? I've got a bunch of videos on that. Also, asset location. Where's your assets located at to reduce your risk? So, example of this, like I said, is, if you're 100% zero on stocks and fixed, and if you do this wrong, you could go right up to your retirement date. Day before you retire, there's a 10% market correction. You say, I can't retire now. Also, if you're before 59 and a half, where are you going to get your money to live on? Where, there's a rule of 55. You can get 401k money early, but do you have money in a brokerage account that you can live on? What's your income stream looking out at? Do you want to work part-time? There's a whole lot of options that 5 years is really not too late, but getting there. You're at the last day. Also, good chance you're going to, put pen to paper. You're going to talk to some professionals. You're going to do a detailed analysis, maybe using some comprehensive software. And you may find you can retire 1 to 4 years earlier than you thought was possible. That's why I say 5 years is kind of at the end of this time. You're late. The formula that I've seen work dozens and dozens and dozens of times is people buy the Bolden software. It's a comprehensive software plan. I think it's $120 a year now. That's what I pay. I've been buying it for 5 years now. I didn't have it when I made the decision to retire, but it's the first link you'll come to. I'm telling you, love it. You get a free 2 weeks when you use that link. See the format. I got a lot of videos where I use it. People would get the Bolden, they'd get a PDF downloaded report of that, and then they'd review their plan with a certified financial planner, and I get 12 comments a day. I got 12 today. Today. It's only 3 o'clock as I'm making this. Where people said I retired 1 to 4 years earlier. They tell me specifically, but I hear it all the time. It's not rare. But you got to do that process of a comprehensive plan, review it with certified financial planner, and I'll tell you how to do that in a little bit. Bolden is the first link. Number 2 action I would tell you or suggest to you is you must accept that accumulating savings and investing is totally different from decumulation of your assets. Completely different. The spending of money, safety with growth, all the tax laws, managing your taxes becomes something you have to do instead of something that is done to you. if you're a W-2 employee, taxes are done to you. It's really apples and iPhones, okay? Apples and iPhones. They're not even close to each other. So if you were a great DIYer on accumulation, that doesn't translate very well, okay? Not saying you can't do it, but it's a different skill. You're gonna need to learn a totally different skill, and you need to study because the rules change, okay? The rules change. Example that you need to figure out. This is very basic, but how are you gonna get money into your checking account? How are you gonna get money there every month? Where are you gonna pull it from? Why? What are the consequences of the different accounts? It's a big deal. How are you gonna manage taxes? You gotta manage taxes for the duration of your longevity, and actions you take today can cost you $10, $15, $20, $100,000 down the road if you do it wrong. How will you deal with poor investment returns for 1, 2, 7 years? Got a previous video on that. What if the day you start a 5-year negative returns? How are you going to deal with that? There are methods, okay? Number 3, do you need $1 million or $2 million? That's the wrong question. If you're asking yourself that question or listening to those videos that say you need $2 million to retire, they're confusing you. That is not important. It's all about expenses. Expenses, expenses, expenses. What are your income sources is another question, but mainly know your expenses first. Everything comes off from that, and everybody's different. You may have Social Security kicking in 5 years. You have a pension that starts in 2 years. So, saying that you need $2 million doesn't make any sense, okay? Expenses, let's see, lots of things change throughout your retirement, which, a lot of people think, hey, I'm just gonna pull out 4%. Well, maybe the first 2 years, you need to pull out 4% or maybe 6% to retire. Let's say you need to pull out 6%, but then your pension kicks in or your deferred comp kicks in or your kids get out of college. Maybe you're gonna drop your life insurance at that time. A lot of things just change through the years. I don't know anybody that spends a fixed amount like a 4% rule every single year. I don't know anybody that does that, okay? So when you use those models and say you need $1 million to pull out $40,000 a year, I know nobody that spends like that. You get a lot of one-time expenses. Expenses spike up, they go down. That's just life. Bolden really walks you through that too. My personal expenses, I'm spending about 60%, adjusted for inflation, of what I was spending during my work life, 60%. My daughter was still in college at the time. I'm not saving anymore, okay? And then, so I created a budget, and then my budget was 20% less than what my retirement budget that I put together, I'm spending 80% of that, which happens to be about 60% of my pre-retirement spending. Okay, hopefully I'm not confusing you with numbers. So don't just say my expenses right now are $6,000 a month, so that's what I put in for retirement. Don't do that. That's a bad deal. I'm spending 60% of that pre-retirement number. A lot of my misses were on health insurance, life insurance, auto insurance, the cost to commute, cutting the cable are my biggest ones, although there were a lot of smaller ones that added up. I missed the whole concept of go-go spending, slow-go spending, and no-go spending. I missed that, okay? You need to understand what those are. I'm not gonna go into this in this video, but that has a massive impact. I'll touch on it. If you put in your go-go spending, say your base expenses are $5,000 a month, and you say, hey, I wanna spend an extra $1,000 a month on go-go spending. Well, that's gonna be $6,000 a month, and it's gonna use that number through your mortality. Well, when you're 75, 80, 85, you're not gonna do that go-go spending. Just face it, it's not gonna happen. I'll talk about that more in a little bit. That can dramatically change your retirement date. Number 4, what's your health insurance plan? So many people just assume their health insurance is gonna be expensive and so they don't retire. Hey, get quotes, It's fear of the unknown. People put in $2,500 a year or $2,500 a month. Sorry, a year would be a bargain. and then they just get trapped in, I'll work one more year. It's not a good time. That just happens, okay? Well, and related to that, as the date of your retirement approaches, okay, you go from 5 years to 4 to 3 to 2, then to 1 month, you should expect to have fears and doubts, okay? Everybody. I don't know anybody that doesn't have fears and doubts. If you got $10 million, you got fears and doubts. You'll get trapped in that 1 more year syndrome. It happens, okay? It's never a good time. It's been 100% of my experience, so expect it. The solution to fear and doubt has, to me, is proven, and I've talked to hundreds, if not thousands of people, getting a second set of eyes to look at your plan. You're a proud DIYer, I get it, okay? Accumulation is different than decumulation. Get a second set of eyes, a professional, okay, is best, okay? I'm gonna tell you how to do that at a very low cost. Maybe some a little free. One option is free. You don't know what you don't know. Assumptions and misunderstandings are in your plan. The choice is to find out the errors, mistakes, and oversights and what you don't know. You can find that out from somebody else, or you can let life teach you that lesson. Bottom line, I really think it's foolish. My experience is it's foolish to go on your own. You're going to work 1 more year. You're going to get a surprise around, healthcare or Social Security or inflation, rates of return. You're going to get a surprise. I have a free option I'm going to talk about in a little bit, and I have $300 plan reviews from 2 companies that you can get into. And if you want to make somebody make a comprehensive plan for you and hold your hand for the first 12 months, you can contact my buddy Neil. All these links are in the show notes. Number 6, begin to get specific on what you're going to do in retirement. What are you retiring to? What's exciting? What's this new journey? You're going to have this enthusiasm to jump. People retire to something, not from something, okay? If you're retiring from something, you'll decide, it's not that bad, I'll work another year. It will always, keep this in mind, it's always going to make financial sense to work 1 more year. This time, the economy's bad, inflation's higher than I expected, I had this one-time expense come up, we remodeled the kitchen, my car, I needed to replace. It's always going to come up. You got to get excited about what you're retiring to. Maybe it's a hobby, maybe it's gardening, maybe you want to travel the world, you want to buy an RV. Number 7, test living on your retirement budget. Pretty simple. Number 8, begin to probe your boss about possibly working part-time. Consider working part-time. Let's see, where am I at? Oh, I retired to do some reliability and maintenance coaching. I'm no longer doing that, but I did that for a couple years. Made a little money during that, but COVID hit and changed that whole business model. But 5 years out, I was honing my skills. That's kind of the job I had. I was the director of reliability and maintenance for a company, and I traveled around and was doing mentoring and coaching of people in reliability and maintenance, and I was able to hone what I was doing and going to offer. And it could be a great glide path for you to work part-time. Consider working part-time in a hobby area like wine tasting, becoming an umpire for girls softball, or make a YouTube channel like this. Number 9, casually see if you can capitalize on a job elimination effort at your company. You may get a nice severance, and it may be a factor in your timing. If you can get a year's pay, year and a half's pay for leaving, maybe that changes everything. But, be very casual and subtle and soft with that. Don't let them lay you off if you really need 5 more years. Number 10, this is really important, face the realities of your health and your mortality. A lot of people miss this one. I mean, most people do. Number one, you are wrong about having stress in your life. It is killing you, okay? This is from my personal experience. I never thought I was under stress until I retired. And it was like dropping a 15-pound weight, okay? Stress, look up, Google stress, impacts on your health of stress, and you'll be depressed. So face the reality. Improving your exercise and nutrition routine are going to hit you like a ton of bricks day one of retirement. Why not start now? Why not start 5 years out? Your go-go years of exciting retirement most likely are going to end about 75. If you're lucky, they're going to be at 75. I did a search on health span, which is the years that you're healthy and able to do things in an active way, climb the mountains, swim the oceans, go on hikes. That health span average is 66 in the United States, 66. So you're beating the odds or lying to yourself. If you're 67 and, hey, I'm planning on having an active retirement for the next 15 years. Odds aren't with you doing that, okay? Now, everybody's got their anecdotal evidence of their neighbor or their father or their uncle that lived to 90 and he was traveling to Europe for 3 months every year, backpacking around. Everybody's got that evidence, but the odds aren't with you. And if you're married, it's both of your health spans, both of you. And if one doesn't have a good health span, the other one's taking care of them. That's just a reality. So if you're 65 and healthy now, how many years of health span do you have left? How lucky do you feel? What are you doing to control that? Stress, nutrition, and exercise, are those a priority? Giving up 1 year with this reality of your health span can be a huge price tag, working one more year. 11 is, I alluded to this before, see what a certified financial planner has to offer. Now, don't tune out. Don't go to the next video. I met with 7 financial advisors. I chose to go do it yourself. That's what I chose. But I did have a part-time financial advisor appointed for me. And I selected him. I was able to pick him, okay? His name's Neil. His contact information's below. He created my plan. I like Neil a lot, okay? I've been with him for 7 years, okay? And I like him a lot. He's got a lot of referrals from me that, he's a champ. I have free options for you to get some CFP help. First one is Money Pickle. Hit the link below to schedule time on the calendar. Free, 45 minutes with a certified financial planner. Now it's going to be a cold call. You're going to set up a call with them and they're not going to have any input information. You're just going to talk to them. So have a couple questions in mind. Here's what I'm thinking about with Social Security. Here's what I'm thinking about for my rates of return. Here's where I'm invested. Here's my bear market plan. My plan for sequence of returns is this. And see what they have to say. At the end of that call, ask them what they would do specifically to improve your plan. Do that every time. It's free. If you got a good plan, call these folks. They're free. Be able to defend your plan. Don't be embarrassed of your plan. Don't think you're not manly if you're macho, your ego getting in the way, asking for help. I also have 2 $300 plan reviews. This is where you submit your plan online. You submit it. They give you a secure website to do that. And it can be Excel. That can be a PDF download, a Bolden report. Those are the best. And they will study that for about 40 minutes and get questions together, strengths and weaknesses, and then set up an hour call with you. A lot of prep, $300. I've worked closely with these 2 companies to make this offering. This is not common in the industry. It's not common at all. I have contacted 10 companies to do this, and I've got 2 of them to say yes. Or you can do a plan creation with Neil. I mean, this is really cool. Neil, this has cost a lot more money. Plan on $3,500 or so, but he'll spend about 10 hours creating a very complex plan with different scenarios, different options, and he'll give you 12 months of engagement to walk you through the next 12 months, okay? A lot of questions and decisions that come up, and he knows your plan. That is a bargain versus assets under management. I know you're a proud DIYer, but I'm telling you, there's so much to understand about retirement. I never met with a certified financial planner before I retired. Before I was probably 2 years out of retirement, and I should have done it 5 years out. So let me know if I missed anything. You folks that are retired, get a discussion going in the comment, what your fears are, what I got wrong. Yeah, it's Joe out.